Die Hörbar am Nachmittag. Und bei mir im Studio sind jetzt zwei Jungs von Noah and the Whale und unser Musikredakteur James Pullin. Und James Pullin wird das Interview mit den zwei Jungs von Noah and the Whale führen. James, bitte.
Hi, well, yeah, we're joined by Charlie and Tom from Noah and the Whale today. Hello, guys. Welcome to Munich.
Hello.
So, yeah, it's your third time in Munich, you said, and you're playing 59-1 tonight.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, the first thing I want to start off with, I was looking back through some of the old press on you guys, and I dug up an article from 6th of July 2008, which was just before the first single, 5 Years' Time, came out. And the writer came up with some absolutely brilliant descriptions of you guys. Hörbar Whale isn't here, your bassist, and his was simply Hörbar, former child actor Whale.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Tom, they described you as Tom the Fiddle. I don't know if you've ever described yourself as that, or...
I don't think you described yourself as that. No.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was yours. Charlie, I think by the time he got to you, his coffee started to kick in.
Oh, really? What did I get?
You didn't just get a little inverted commas name. He described you as a cross between T.E. Lawrence, a whimsical, impugnious, interwarp English poet, and an out-of-work matinee idol.
Yeah, I remember this now. This is from the Times, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, so we're 3 albums on now,
and
you still feel yourself as a one-day T.E. Lawrence.
Well, I don't know about that. Definitely Hörbar is still former child actor, Hörbar Whale.
Yeah, so. And he's not here to defend himself either, so
exactly,
that one's going to stick.
Ex-Kinderstar, I think, is the...
Yeah, Wunderkind.
Wunderkind, ja.
Vielleicht übersetze ich ganz kurz. James hat die Jungs gerade gefragt, in einer Beschreibung von 2008 aus der Times wurden sie noch, das war vor 5 Jahren, als ihre erste Single 5 Years Time rauskam, wurden sie noch sehr kindlich betitelt, und er hat sie eben gerade gefragt, wie sie 3 Jahre später, wie sie sich nennen könnten, und dass sie reifer geworden sind, vielleicht nicht mehr so die Kinder. James.
So yeah, to talk about the music briefly, your first 2 albums had their own distinct thread running through them. The first Days of Spring had the sort of emotional narrative, and now the new album is the first one to really introduce characters and its own separate narrative. Was that approach to your writing a natural thing, or did you have to consciously stop and think, you know, I won't go back over the old ground, I'm going to try something new?
No, exactly, yeah. I think on this album, in the songwriting and also in the arrangements, we wanted to test ourselves and not rely on what we'd done before and what was familiar. And I think that's good, you know, I think it's important for bands to evolve, you know.
Yeah, great. And in terms of your lyrics as well, I've heard you talk a lot about various writers, but particularly Charles Bukowski on this album.
Yeah, no, I guess Charles Bukowski and Frank O'Hara was probably poetry I was reading the most. And then the lyrics of Tom Waits' Bone Machine, that album, and Lou Reed's Berlin, that was kind of the essence of what I was trying to do, I guess. And, I mean, Tom Waits in particular is someone I think who writes about characters really well. And he's got this thing that he says that it's writing in character, the trick is to not obscure yourself from the song. And on the contrary, you find a whole family living inside of you. And I think that's true. I think when you're writing in character, it's a tool to express something personal, but it's just told with, you know, a different method than the first person or whatever.
And do you think drawing on a variety of sources like that is what helps to keep it fresh every time, as opposed to just saying, okay, I like Tom Waits, I want to make a Tom Waits-esque thing? I think that's what helps to keep it feeling so fresh for you guys, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's the blend of influences is probably what makes it sound like none of the influences, you know what I mean? Because there was like the influences range from, like I said, Lou Reed and Tom Waits to Brian Eno and Prince, you know, and Arthur Russell, so yeah.
Yeah, quite a broad spectrum there.
Yeah.
And musically as well, it's quite a big shift. Obviously, your drummer, that was the other nickname actually, just Charlie's brother, Doug.
Poor guy.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's not playing with you guys anmore.
No,
but that may have contributed to the slightly different musical sounds on the album as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, to a certain extent, part of the reason we started experimenting with synths and drum machines is because we didn't have a drummer, you know. So, you know, partly because it was new territory and it was something we wanted to try out, and partly because we needed some drums, you know.
When you're thinking about putting your live shows together now, obviously you've got 3 albums of material to draw on, and it seems like you're not afraid to mix in the albums, and then in that sort of set list context, they all seem to complement each other quite well. How did you go about figuring that out?
Well, yeah, as you say, we've got such a wealth now of songs to choose from. I guess the way we managed to incorporate older things into the new songs, new sounds rather, is by reimagining them, reinventing them, giving them a kind of like a makeover, if you like.
Yeah, they've sort of been rejuvenated, I think, a little by the new material, you know. It sort of infects them with its new energy, I guess. So it seems to be working.
Yeah, great. And very lastly, I'm dying to ask you what the connection to Bohemian Rhapsody is and how that came about.
That's great. No, I'll try and tell the story as brief as possible, but basically I was on tour in Holland in a town called Groningen. And, when you're touring it can get quite tough and quite hard. And so I took a walk into the town and there was this brass band performing Bohemian Rhapsody, and it was one of the most uplifting moments of my life, just hearing that music, because there's something very uplifting about that being played on brass band music, and it gets the crowd singing along, and it just works really well as our walk-on music.
Okay, James Pallin im Gespräch mit No and the Well. You'll play tonight at 15 to 1 here in Munich?
That's right.
Which time? When is the starting time?
I think it's a 9 tonight. We're on stage.
9 to 10. It's sold out?
Yeah, sold out.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, No and the Whale, for being here. Nice time in Munich. 94.5 09 94.5. And wir hören jetzt einen Song. It's a single out of your new album, Last Night on Earth. Thank you.